Hi, my name is Lucas,
And I'm Truman.
and today we're reviewing Fallout Season 2, which is based off the game Fallout New Vegas. And if you didn't know about the game, it's about, or the show really. Um, so we see the main character going through different parts of the United States to go to New Vegas, where we met characters like Kaiser, the New California Republic, and seen new monsters as well, like the what's it?
Death
The
Claws.
Death
The Death
Claws.
Claw. Those
Yeah,
guys are crazy. They're crazy.
I know, right?
They're
Like,
just crazy.
I know, and they're like overpowered as well.
Yes.
And we did see a little bit of a background with New Vegas actually being like reborn as a new town, and that's how we got the backstory of, the child in the fridge. Remember that part of the
Yes.
game?
Yes, I do remember that. You know, I the first season of this show, very good, I thought. I really liked the universe. It actually got me into the games. I played the games for the first time over the summer. And the first game I played was happened upon was Fallout New Vegas. My roommate was like, you casually picked up just the best game of all time. He thought very highly of it, and I have to agree, it was a very good game. I like the world it created, and I think I will say this: the show this season two obviously centered around kind of the Mojave Desert and the New Vegas area, and kind of all the factions and the culture and so forth, and showing a great kind of progression of time and how that would plan out after the game, which I thought was cool. A lot of cool world building, very accessible to people who were not privy to the games. Kind of dropped the ball for me a little bit in the end. So I'll talk about it, but I think the ending of the season specifically, I felt like it kind of just
Yeah,
kind of lost its pace a little bit.
it's like they were hyping up for like a really big battle. Um, of course, with Thaddeus like losing his arm before the final episode, I thought that was kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
And I never expected like I expected him to help out in the last season with the Death Claws, but I'm not gonna lie, like it's it turned out well in some characters, and then like characters like Lucy and her finale, because we see different stories in these finales. Um, it turned out like I didn't really like Lucy's ending, but I loved like Max's ending, and Thaddeus helping Max, and then the California New Republic just joining in, and then it's just setting up for season 3. I feel like it was a setup more than an ending.
I definitely agree. I don't like when I get you have to set up things sometimes, so you have to get people like, clicking on to season three. But I think those kinds of things where they say like a battle is coming, the war is coming, everything it's happening now, it's happening any second, and then it just ends. I hate that kind of thing. I think it's kind of I don't know, just the pacing of this did not earn that for me. Especially I don't like. I mean, this is a small weird thing to complain about, but the editing in this show, where every time you switch between like character storylines, like Thaddeus fighting or not Thaddeus, sorry, Maximus fighting the Death Claws or the Ghoul finding his
And
family
then
or
it
Lucy,
just
it
cuts.
cuts to black and then it goes to the next thing. Like we know it's another character. We don't you don't gotta like cut the black for a second. Like what's gonna happen? And it's the next thing. Like every single time, not even a little bit kidding. Every single time it changes like that, and they just got really tiresome for me.
Let's talk about like the new character stories that we got in this season. Like Vault 32's like manager, and how she was Canadian and how everybody didn't like that. I mean, we could have gotten like a little bit more of a context. I know there was a war between like the United States and Canada, and how she was a survivor of the war, and her mother's last words were like, "Oh, continue." Like she said something in the lines like, "Continue living, like get everything, like don't take anything for granted, like
Yep.
do whatever you want." So I'm not gonna lie, I did not like some of the side stories. I did like the brother side story, but I feel like the new manager for Vault 32 could have been a better side story than there is right now.
I agree. I see why they did it because obviously they had to set up kind of the ending, which does lead to a big thing in season three, a big part of the Fallout lore. I can see why they did it like that, but I do agree they do get kind of lost in the weeds a little bit of that whole story because I'm like, why am I watching this person do all this stuff? It's like why there's all this interesting stuff happening in New Vegas, which I'm really interested in. And then you cut back, it's like, but what's going on with her 200 years ago? And I'm like, I don't know. I don't really want to.
There's a lot of like cutbacks or flashbacks of
Yeah,
200
most of
years ago.
which I like. I like the stuff with Cooper going on where where it's like what was he doing before. I'm interested to see. I'm sure at some point they'll reveal the process of him becoming a ghoul or something, which that'll be interesting to see. I think that was cool. I just think that the way it was structured was just like I wasn't like clicking on to the next episode because I was like, what's gonna happen? It was more just because I'm like, oh, what's this next episode? I'm gonna
Yeah.
finish this. Like, it wasn't like an obligation. It was more of an obligation than it was a like a want to know what happens next.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna like I'm gonna say right now that Cooper's like bat flashback ending, if we can say that, because there was like the Ghoul had like two main storylines, the past and the present. Um, I feel like that ending was like pretty much it gave me a little bit of more questions
Yeah, no,
than
absolutely.
answers. Like
And he ends up just right back where he started at the beginning of the show, which I also don't really like. I would like to see like and I get he's gonna go find his family. I understand why that's happening. It just feels like he was by himself at the beginning of the show, and now he's by himself again. And it's just like why can't these people come together?
yeah,
It'd be great.
I mean the only thing that I like the biggest thing that disappointed me was like Maximus and
Lucy.
Lucy, yeah, sorry. So I thought that they're gonna have like more screen time, or like they're just gonna run at each other, and then like because
Yeah.
the last season like they had like a big romantic ending, like they kissed, and I thought they were gonna do that again in this season, but
Yeah.
no, it's just like a hug. They're
Yeah.
like, oh
I
my
mean,
god, I'm so
I guess they've been through a lot. Maybe they're not in the kissing mood. I guess. I mean, I've said a lot of things. I feel like I'm coming across that I hate this. I don't hate it at all. I enjoy this show. I like the world. I love all the stuff. Very faithful recreations. I believe it was Justin Thoreau. Is that? I don't know.
yeah.
I think that's his name. Brilliant job as Mr. House. Really carries over right from the game. Very cool. I think. Like New Vegas, expertly put together with that set design. Everything's exactly where it is in the game. It really did feel like the same place, which is very hard to do. So I think it's really cool they're able to do that. There's a lot of good stuff in here.
Yeah, and let's also talk about like the brother's side story, like
Yeah,
how he was gonna be put to death because of like a last minute rule that they made up, saying like, oh, he's a traitor, like we have to kill him now, like he pretended. We didn't really get to see much of like there was just so many stories that were like unturned. But what I would say about that side story was like it's nice to see another Vault Dweller experience outside of the except for Lucy, like her brother and all the other Vault Dwellers, like they went outside. Most of them immediately got killed, but there was one survivor at the end.
yeah,
Like I don't know if it was the girl that he liked or something like that, but there was one survivor, and I'm not gonna lie. Um, I think that story has a bunch of potential on like Vault Dwellers just surviving the world, because Lucy had Maximus, and then she had the Ghoul, who was teaching her how to live in the surface world. They don't have anybody. They just have to go on their own, which
yeah.
is something that I think it would be a great addition in season three.
Well, I don't, and I don't purport to be a Fallout expert by any means, but I mean, what the Fallout like thrives upon is like you put the main character has to be experiencing everything for the first time, so that you can like react with them to like, wow, this place is so weird and crazy because it's the wasteland. And I think, and I get, the brother's gonna be out there, and we're gonna see where he goes. And he's kind of having a parallel but splitting off path from how Lucy experienced the outside world for the first time. But I think there is a point where it's like, all right, how many times can we introduce a new person to this place? Because it's just like,
Yeah,
oh my god, this is what it's like up here.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, talking about Fallout and our reviews and the summary, what would you rate Fallout season two?
Honestly, I did enjoy it. Again, I feel like I've really come across that I didn't like this very much. I did like it. I enjoyed it. It was not a negative experience. It was not as good as the first season for me. So I will give it I'm gonna give it a 7. That's what I'm gonna give it. Cool 7. That's what I'm giving.
I would say that I love this season so far. I think Fallout has a strong, like, even though the finale didn't really hit as the last one, and it was just more of a setup for season three, like the great big war is coming. I did enjoy the whole plot and the storylining of it, so I would give it a 8 out of 10.
All right. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next review. Unless the nuclear apocalypse happens, then we probably won't be here anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
See ya.
Bye.